welcome to my channel. This is Intuitive Edge. This is where we take an intuitive look at what's going on in our world. So today I want to take a look at what's happening down in California with the blackouts and the subsequent fires. What's happening with all of that? When I went to sit down and come up with a spread to lay out some cards and get an intuitive impressions about what's happening down there, it felt almost like there were so many different directions to take that I didn't feel I could do everything in one video. Like there was something about PG&E, there was something about the blackouts, the fires, the consciousness of what's created all of this, and it felt a little overwhelming to distill it down. So I sat down to kind of try to distill it down a little bit and see what direction to take. Now, I wrote down some areas that intuitively that I felt were important and tried to craft some questions around those areas. And one area I was able to get questions, and the rest of it is just information, like what we need to look at, what we need to change, areas of concern. So I'm just going to talk about this for a little bit, and then maybe I can distill this down and come up with a spread and do some card work on it. The four areas that came to me were, number one was power and control. Number two was environmental responsibility. The third area was heightened awareness. And the last was globalistic agendas. Now, for power and control, I didn't get any questions. I just got information, feelings, essences for this. And it feels like there's a centralization of power, too much power in one place. It feels to me that PG&E is too big. They have too much power, too much control, and it needs to decentralize. I saw maybe like little startups, encouraging other little startups that would kind of break up this monopolistic feeling of the power grid down there. Next was environmental responsibility. This I came up with some questions, so maybe I'll address these in a later video, but the questions is what should be done to steward the land? What is being done now, and what is the path forward? Okay, so that's more of a question type thing. The heightened awareness, what I got with this is that people need to become aware and involved. We all know that. But part of being heightened awareness and self-aware is that you take your personal power back. You're not giving your power away and having this false sense of security and belief that the power companies or the powers that be have your best interest at heart. And what came to me is that nobody has your best interest at heart but you. That's it. People, especially those in power, that gain power, that want more power, they're not looking out for the little guy and helping. They're wanting to amass more power. That's kind of how power corrupts, right? So the problem here is that people give too much power away. They're not grounded in their personal power. They rely on what they hear in the news. They rely on that. We've become accustomed to relying on people outside of ourselves for our own security, for our own safety, for our information, and everything is external. We rely on these news agencies and everything outside of us with the belief, and most of the time it's okay. It turns out okay if you trust the police, or you trust those in your community. And we need to build trust. I'm not saying not to. But initially, we need to become more individualized, and self-aware is looking at your own personal power and not self-reliant, I guess. Not relying on others for your life, for your safety, for your that needs to come from within. That needs to be an inside job, not an outside external. And to realize that words have meaning. The words we use have meaning. And I didn't get much more on that, but maybe I can expound on that later as to what that message is. So the last one was the globalistic agenda. And what I tried to come up with a question, and what came to me was why? Like the big neon letters, why? What's really behind this? Why? And I got that it's a hard truth to hear, and a lot of it will be unwanted information. And it's very easy, we humans, when we don't want to hear something, that we tune it out. And tuning things out doesn't make it go away. Tuning out negativity doesn't make negativity magically become good or become less negative, okay? It just means you're tuning it out. It doesn't mean you're not still affected by it. So there is and there are globalistic agendas at play, I think, down with this whole thing. And the truth of it, if most people knew, it would be extremely hard to handle. So those were the 4 areas. Oh, along with the globalistic agenda, I got an image in my mind of a table, a 4-legged table with one of the legs, someone kicking the leg out, one of the legs out. Now, if you have a 4-legged table and one of the legs is kicked out, it's not going to stand. The table will fall. It's a destabilization feeling with that. And that is the goal with the globalist agenda, because that was the question I was on, is destabilizing. You get enough people to not trust themselves and to trust outside of themselves for their life, for their livelihood, and then you kick the table out and leave them feeling destabilized so that their dependence on you is complete. And then back to the power and control. The power and control kicks in even more. We have more power and more control because more people are dependent on us. So trying to distill all that down with what's happening in California, it seemed like those were the 4 areas of most concern. So I wanted to talk about those first because a lot of that didn't come through in questions. It just came through in information. All right, I'm going to pause this and come back and see if we can do some card reading on it. Stay tuned. Okay, so I only have 4 questions. Just going to make this quick. So the first question is, what is the biggest concern in California right now? And I've got the 7 of Cups. So we'll take a look at this card. This is a card of too many choices, too much going on, a lot happening, and a lot of confusion, perhaps. Interesting with this picture, too, we've got those kind of black, smoky things on the horizon. So there could be a lot of confusion going forward, and not knowing what to do first, okay? In times like this, it's important to be really grounded and solid and try to not be in freak out mode, because freak out just adds to the confusion, okay? There could be a lot of that, a lot of unsettled feelings of not knowing which way to go or what to do next or what's the best solution or what's the best idea right now. So, angst, a lot of angst. All right, what do citizens of California need to do or be aware of? Now, interesting, we've got this, this came in upside down. It's the Eight of Pentacles. This is a card of actually getting back to work and working on things, projects, getting stuff done. And we have it reversed. Upright, this card is about diligence, purpose, detail, getting things done. And on the reversal, it's being self-focused, wasted efforts, being short-sighted or afraid to take risk. So this is maybe what they need to be aware of, is this is a time to really be focused on what you need to do next and to do things that will move you forward, not backward. What is likely to happen next is the third question. I've got the Nine of Swords. This is a card of grief and anxiety. It's not looking real good in the short term. You know, especially in those areas where there's blackouts and fires. This is the anxiety card. Being anxious and worried, grief. That's kind of on the horizon. So that's not exactly a great card to have on the horizon. The outcome for California. Now I've got a messenger. It came in reversed. Okay, this is the Knight of Cups. Messenger came in reversed. This card can be like an emotional drain. Acting from emotions rather than logic. And that seems to go along with the Seven of Cups, with this too much going on, and this Eight of Pentacles is needing to get working on something but not being able to focus. And then the Grief card, not looking very good right now. Underneath we have the Strength reversed, so this is a, I'll show it to you. The Strength card reversed is misuse of power or abuse of power and not using your strength for the right purposes. Let me see if I can get a few more cards to help with this situation. Be right back. Okay, next set of questions. How did the fires start? We're just gonna get right into it. I've got the Ten of Swords reversed. First thing I saw with this, with those swords being like, I just felt like electrical, like these swords being metal, being conductors, and then all this like energy coming from them. That's what I got from the artwork, the picture. Now this card is about endings and turning a corner when something has finalized and how something ended. But my first impression is something electrical with it. It felt electric. The second question is, what do we need to know about the fires? Okay, Nine of Pentacles. This is a card about money. Being wealthy and well-to-do. So there's something about these fires that has something to do with money. Getting money, maybe disaster relief, maybe that's the goal, is to get money. But there's something money related. Next question, what is the true purpose of the rolling blackouts? So, what is the true purpose of the rolling blackouts? We have this person walking blissfully unaware. And that's the essence of the Fool card. Someone caught up in their own dreams and they're just going to go out and change the world, okay? But they're blissfully unaware. And is that the purpose? That was the question. Is the purpose to keep people unaware? Blissfully unaware of what's really going on? Last question for this set is outcome for the affected areas. I've got the Two of Swords reversed. Okay, here's the 2 swords. Came in reversed. This card is a reversal. It's about self-deception, delusion. As a reversal, it can be like being backed into a corner and not making the right decision, moving in a wrong direction. It can be juggling with the truth. Underneath this card, we have the Death card. Now, tarot death card does not always mean literal death. It means a change, a transformation that can sometimes feel like a death. It just could mean major transformational change on the way. So we have electrical fires, dealing with money or being influenced by money, keeping people blissfully unaware, and moving in the wrong direction with the Death card underneath. So again, like the last reading, not really looking too good right now. Everybody, I hope, takes care down there. Take care of your families, stay out of harm's way. Could get kind of dicey, I think, in the next few days. We'll see what happens. So I think that's all I have for this right now. Maybe I'll touch on the environmental responsibility questions in another video, and how to help humanity move into that heightened awareness where we're not relying so much on outward circumstances and other people. Although we should care for other people, but our ultimate responsibility is to ourselves, because we're the only ones that are going to care enough about ourselves, right? Okay, that's all I have for this. All right, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. This has been Intuitive Edge. Bye for now. And be safe out there in California. Bye for now.